presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats, stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
Damn, that 2023 Black Denim Breakout is a nice fucking looking bike.
Dude, I just got back. Literally, when I logged on, I just got back and got in the house from getting my service and my tires done.
What'd you do?
I just got new tires on and new tires, and they found out there was about they measure the
water.
Yep, the water in your brakes,
the moisture content,
content, and it was over as high. Their reading device only reads up to 4%, and it was at least that. So it needed that my brakes needed to be serviced, but all the other things on my bike checked out 100%. So that's all I did. I had them service my brakes and got new tires, dude. I'm here to tell you, new tires can change the game for sure.
They're hard on your wallet too.
You don't have holes and shit in your tires while you're riding. So it's a big difference.
They are hard on the wallet. But.
So what did this have to do with the comment I made on the breakout? Are you trying to get to some point? Did you see a 2023 breakout while you were there?
No, I just didn't really want to talk about the breakout.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Bluegrass had two of them, if I'm not mistaken.
The black denim?
I went and saw them on Saturday. Yeah, they had two.
Dude, they got two of everything in that motherfucker.
No shit.
That's the Noah's Ark of dealerships.
Yeah,
I did get recognized at a gas station too.
As a dick?
In the glory hole?
Did you explain to the cop and say, no, that wasn't me, that was another guy?
No. Some guy just walked up and he's like, I just joined the Discord not too long ago and I live right in this town, and yeah, it was pretty awesome actually.
That's what happens when you live somewhere where only like 5 people have motorcycles, and
dude, he recognized my bike, so that's how he recognized me. So
I don't get that here. Nobody recognizes me from shit because nobody around here listens to the show.
Them motherfuckers. Oh, that black denim breakout is pretty badass.
I'm telling you, man, look at the wheels on that thing.
Yeah. I really don't pay that much attention to the breakout, but it is pretty cool.
Yeah, the silver metallic looks better though.
I bet you with that huge back tire, I bet you it turns like a tank though.
Fuck yeah, it does. Those
we
big
had
back
a Discord
tires.
comment. I think we had a Discord comment about the breakout, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, somebody just joined the Discord or is fairly new.
Yeah,
has a new one, and they had a comment about that. So
2023.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they asked what we
FTBM?
thought of it, or if we didn't talk about it, or something like that.
No, this wasn't even planned. It's just when we were sitting there talking, Quantico pushed up a picture of when they had. And
so this is what, the 201st podcast, Dustin?
It's 201st. Yes, I didn't look at the milestones at all lately just to see where we're at and how many episodes we put out, but last week's episode was number 200.
Well, you ass-fucked us on that one, didn't you?
Yeah. I hope it felt nice.
You didn't even take a step back.
No.
Dude, you got to think about that for a second and just reflect. 201 episodes? That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy. And not only that, it's also the last episode before FDBM. So
this is the go home show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is going to drop at
Monday. This will drop next Monday.
I hit the road on Wednesday. Yep.
This isn't the go home. This is the go.
This is the go there.
Go there.
Yeah.
No, they call it the go home show, the one before the event.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we won't have one.
The week of the event.
The week of the event. So
we'll all be traveling.
But yeah, so this is it, man. We got FDBM coming up 4 days after this airs, and it's our 201. I didn't even think we were going to do like fucking 3 podcasts, no less 201.
Yeah.
It's that 201. It's a pretty amazing thing that you guys tolerated me this long.
Dude, I remember doing the first one and getting off and going, boy, that was a fuck show of fuckery right there. That was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I remember in the very beginning too, it took us a really long time to get 90 minutes of content too. You know what I mean? Or even 30 minutes or 40 minutes of content.
We had 4 hours of content that you barely got 90 or 60 minutes out of.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
I think it was just so bad because we weren't doing video to start.
No,
Yeah.
we weren't because we thought that
Oh,
the
like you
video.
couldn't see each other's face?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That would
No.
be kind of weird.
So how
We
do you
were-
know when to talk? You know, because at least
Exactly.
here I can see somebody if they need to talk or something like that. But yeah, then it's just like you're just waiting for that 2 seconds of silence.
Yeah, because we were concerned that the video was taking up too much bandwidth for it'd make the audio worse. But
Did you have internet back then?
yeah, we had a carrier
Wow.
pigeon. And
Yeah.
Just saying.
2 cans and a string.
Yeah. 2 cans and a string.
Yeah.
You're lucky because we'd be tied to your balls right now if we did have it still. Dave.
I would just want you to hum the slobber blues if that was the case.
There'll be food around the corner.
Oh man.
GNC ain't got nothing on my protein shake.
Oh.
I got
Tony,
your pre and your
we don't-
post workout.
We know by now all you do is shoot dust. So
Yeah, dude.
We covered
Just like
that in last week's episode.
That's about it.
They call him Carnation
At
Man.
least I'm still trying.
okay. So if we're gonna do a little bit of reflection, Brittany, you're our newest member. What is your favorite moment from the time that you joined the podcast?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I feel like the Halloween ones were my favorite so far.
You know, Dustin's a big Halloween man. There's
Dude,
no
we've
doubt
already
about it.
started putting Halloween shit out
No
here, dude. We're
shit.
ready to rock and roll.
He is high on the Halloween. My wife hated Halloween when we had little ones because it was like
oh, I
work.
love Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm sure all parents hate it. You have to
So-
buy a ton of candy and dress up.
Last year was pretty epic, Brittany. You showing up as me on Halloween was
Well,
pretty epic. That was fun.
It was hilarious the first episode that I joined you guys with when you dressed up as Kimmodo.
Hmm.
And then last year I was like, I gotta dress up as one of the guys because it'll just
Mm-hmm.
make it that much better if Ryan shows up as a girl.
Well, and I was Kim Moto on steroids last year or this year, so
Yeah.
I added the kimono to it.
The
You know,
kimono.
My favorite episode since you joined, Brittany, was the day that you finally told everyone on the podcast to fuck off.
It's a good
took
one.
took us like 6 months, and we finally drug it out of you. So
You tolerate
that
a
was,
lot, I guess.
that was a good one.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore. I guess
Her fuse
after
is
2
short now.
years. Yeah, after 2 years, I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah,
The
you're
fuck offs
Another
come a lot
time.
easier.
Mhm. For sure.
Yeah.
So, Dave, how about you? What was your favorite moment in the podcast since you joined,
Well, that's really narrowing it down, man. A moment.
Yeah, well, it's been
or,
over,
or podcast,
you
or,
know,
or
we've done a lot. It's been over 2 years now, and we've done a lot. But I think the memory that sticks with me the most over the life of the podcast was the first time that you guys had me guest, which was a really weird thing. I think it was the first year, and I got a phone call from Tony on my cell phone that said, "Hey, do you want to be a guest on the podcast tonight? Like tonight?" So I
Well,
was like, "Sure."
We like to catch you off guard.
Yeah, but so I mean, after like an hour, I'm sitting here, we're talking, and I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what we're going to do or everything, and then suddenly it's like it's over, and I kind of thought later, I thought, that was weird. Maybe they were having an off night, but like they were like totally fucking disorganized and not planned or anything. I mean, that's not what I expected. And now I think, I don't know, it's been around 100 episodes now, right? Because it's over 2 years.
Yeah, it's not doesn't feel chaotic anymore.
Yeah,
does it?
no,
It feels normal.
no. It's all confirmed.
Yeah,
What my first impression was confirmed that still we don't know what the fuck we're doing and
not a fucking clue.
not organized and
Yeah, no research done here. We fly
No.
by the seat of our pants.
no.
We
You have a
did.
guest on, you don't tell them shit. You don't
No.
prep them.
Yeah.
You just start recording and
Hey man,
You
do
know?
I look like fucking Dan Rather?
actually no, you don't.
No,
No,
exactly.
that guy down there in the corner does.
But I wish you'd put your hat on because you look
Yeah.
like Mr. Freeze or whatever right now from
Yeah.
Batman.
If we put a dot
There
on
you
the
go.
top of his head,
There
he
you
might
go, I
look like
like
a
that.
penis.
Oh gosh.
Little line.
A dot or a
A
little
little
red
line,
line,
a little
yeah.
line, and a dot on his head look just
There,
like a dick.
how's that?
There you go.
Cocksuckers.
I don't know,
Dustin,
Ryan.
you
What
have a
about
favorite
you?
moment?
What's your
My
favorite moment? Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not really sure, but I would say that our JMP Cycles episode that we did this year with
Oh.
Patrick is one
That
of my
was really
favorite.
good.
Is
That
one of
was
my
a
favorite
good
episodes that
one.
we've ever done. Just because I had maybe like an idea in my head of what I thought it was going to go like, and Patrick was nothing what I expected. And he was an amazing guest. He's fun to be with, fun to talk to. He fucking seems like he knows everything.
Yeah.
But is readily to admit that he that he's not classically trained or whatever you want to call it, that he's a garage wrencher that kind of turned that into something pretty amazing for J&P Cycles. So that's one of my favorite episodes, I think. And from that perspective, in terms of that, I think I have like moments that stand out more than podcasts, right? So and I think I even mentioned this before at maybe 100 episodes, or I don't remember, but when we had what's her name from California, who she has an autistic son. I can't think of her name right now. She rides
Star
an Indian.
Bobber, man.
Star Bobber. Yeah, when we had Star Bobber on that episode, and
That was a good one too, man.
I dubbed Tony Dildo Baggins on that episode.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fun one. For whatever reason, I think the moments when we catch our guests off guard, but yet they're still in the moment and they don't get like totally freaked out about it. I tend to like those podcasts a lot. The one with Adam Sandoval where he did the entire podcast from him in his Jeep on his phone, that was pretty epic. Yeah, I don't know. We've had some pretty amazing moments over the last couple of years, but the J&P Cycles one probably stands out for me most recent.
Well, we all know what Skater Boy fanboy's favorite episode was.
No,
Mr. Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Steve Caballero was on, that was
Yeah,
I didn't have much to say that episode. I
were drooling, dude. You
Yeah,
could hear
I was
it coming through the
little
mic.
starstruck, but
Yeah.
no, we've had a lot of good stuff, man. And I remember a couple of the early days, some of the word of the day, like kerfuffle.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple that was just
Which is a legitimate word. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's like that's like
the
most
way it was
legit word.
presented though was the star. But there was a couple of those that were just hilarious in the early days, and
Yep.
it was just there's just been so much. It's hard to just narrow it down. I mean, for me, it is. I mean, there's just been so much bullshit that's been said on this thing that it's hard to keep track of.
I'd like to hear from the listeners too. Any of you guys out there that are on the Discord, post up your favorite moments on the Discord of one of the things that you've gravitated to or like the most about since you've been listening as a fan, because that always helps us, I think, too, when we hear like what the fans like and what the people that listen to the podcast all the time, what they have enjoyed most about the podcast.
When
Because
have
I
you
think
ever cared what anybody thought about what we?
He
what
doesn't
we
give a
say?
shit. He's just trying to fill airspace.
Yeah.
He just likes to hear himself
Dustin
talk
save us here from this
sometimes, I think.
bullshit. What's your favorite?
oh, you motherfucker!
What's your favorite moment, Dustin?
Call me out, you bastard!
Yeah, I'm just saying, there's not enough air in the room. That's the reason we have to do it in different places.
Fucking guys.
No, there are Haley. That whole episode.
That
I'm going to
was
say
great.
episode wise, I don't think I ever laughed as hard as when Halerization was on, and we need to have her on again.
Yeah,
because she's done some moving around and stuff with her bike, so
yeah,
she would have some more good stories to tell, more
And Rita.
more
What
jokes.
What was the painter girl's name? She was cool too.
Jessie
man.
Madera, yeah.
Jesse Madera, yeah.
Some of her stuff.
And her
was awesome.
stuff, I follow her on social media just because she does amazing work, and she's just killing it every single piece she does. But
that episode shocked me. Her story about the piece of art that she had done.
Yeah.
We were all dumbstruck. We were just
Yeah,
like,
we were.
what?
Like, what the hell are we even? It's like
Wow.
I had to go to church afterwards.
yeah, right. I couldn't go to church afterwards. I'd have burst into flames.
So as far as moment, this one always sticks out of my head. When we had Chris and Heather Callan on, and he told the Macho Man Randy Savage joke when he was bouncing at some titty bar, and Macho Man, he kept Macho Man from whooping somebody's ass at the titty bar.
Yeah.
That joke just had me going.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of great guests, and it's hard to narrow it down. I mean,
Right.
it really is, man.
Yeah. You hate to like pick a moment as if you're singling out that person as the best person you've ever had on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, we've had a lot of great
Yeah.
guests, a lot of surprise great guests, too.
Yeah.
We had on that were just like, dang, that was really, we were fortunate. We've been really fortunate to have people on the podcast like that,
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
lot of them. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we have to give props to the guests that we've had on, because we've had some amazing people that have taken the time, taken their time to be on the podcast, and it's been great. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of thanks, we have to thank our listeners because we just passed the 400,000 download threshold.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So thanks
That's
all
a
you guys
lot.
for listening. On our way to 500,000 listens. That's big for us. We never thought we'd get 1,000.
Shit.
Right?
I never thought we'd get 100. To be honest, when we first started this.
So boy,
We
you're
had the
reaching.
Bonaphones. Remember the Bonaphones we all had?
Yeah.
Like we were
It must
talking
have
into a
looked like we were
dick.
sucking dick.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that one.
You didn't buy a Bonaphone, but
I got the
rest
one
of
that
us
I
had
got the one that looked like a
Bonaphone.
box.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yep. For
So
sure.
episode 201.
Yeah.
Got to do this all over again
Why?
because we got to work on another 200 episodes. Starting
We got to start all over again. This is also the episode we mentioned earlier. This is before FDBM, man. FDBM is going to be the end of this. When this airs, it'll be the end of the week. It'll be it's going to kick off Friday the 15th.
Yeah, so when you guys are listening to this for the first time on Monday, know that you have 4 days left to buy tickets for our 75 Ironhead.
Yes.
Sales cease at midnight on Friday.
So Friday the 15th at midnight.
Okay.
It's done.
Mhm.
Yep. No sales at the event before the event on Saturday.
Nope. And
No, but we
people
will
are
take
buying
tips.
tickets. People have been buying. There's been a lot of ticket sales. So if you want in on it, you better jump because you're running out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been quite a few this week.
I do want to say this and I'm actually going to post this in Discord, now, but I'm going to say it
dick
on
pic?
here too. Not a dick pic. No,
Okay.
they can't get the screens big enough for that.
I don't know about all that.
Bullshit.
Need a macro lens.
What
Microscope.
what I want from all the listeners out there is
Hubble.
if you guys see our posts when we post something about the bike, if you could be so kind as to repost it, because we need to get as many people and get as many of these tickets sold up to the very last minute. So if you could do that, repost, hit up as many people as you can. We really want to make this last push big and really do as much as we can.
One of the things that's really been surprising for me the last 2 weeks, the number of people from the Discord and our Patreon group who have come back around the second, third, or fourth time to buy more tickets.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
It's crazy. Absolutely
People
crazy.
have been chewing them up. Also, with FDBM coming up, if you're not a member of the Discord and you plan on coming, you need to become a member of the Discord so you can keep track of everything that's going to go down that weekend, because everything's going to be posted on that Discord.
And shit changes.
I do have something to say about that. So if you are kicking around whether to come to FDBM, even if you don't come to this one last minute, that kind of thing, you're wondering what kind of event that you might be getting yourself into. Okay, because we've talked about this before, it being really grassroots. So I was texting with one of our Discord members and someone who I would call a good friend. He's also supporting the hell out of this bike build. So I was texting with Mark, Moto Mortician, and one of the things that he said was, if you're wondering about what you're going to get from this event, you may make a friend who in the future you might consider this one of your closest friends. I would say that beyond this podcast, I have made some amazing friends in my adult life through the meetup and through Discord and through the podcast. I mean, you know, besides the 4 people here who I consider to be extraordinarily good friends of mine, I have some of those same people that I've met through our meetup and through different things that we've done. And Mark reminded me of that the other night, that is a byproduct of all this, or certainly can be a byproduct if you go and put yourself out there.
No, and it's a
Yeah,
real. I don't want to say intimate because that sounds funky, but you know what I mean. We hang out. I mean, it's not that we're gonna run past you. Everybody hangs out at night afterwards, and you know, we ride together, we hang out, drink together, we eat together. I mean, it's a good time for 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, and back to what Tony said, that's why it's really important if you're coming that you join the Discord. We have a channel specific for us to use to put out announcements over the weekend of who's going to be where and where we're going and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So make sure you join the Discord.
It's a real good time. It's 3 days of motorcycle and hanging out. It's good. It's fun. I think it's great. But
Absolutely.
I'm biased, but still. So fuck y'all.
So welcoming.
Well, you know, fuck them. But no,
we got some cool shit going on this one too.
no, we
though,
had some really
you know?
cool shit going on this time, man. And you know, I think we've learned from past FDBMs of what people expect, and you know, I think this one's going to be the best one ever, especially with the bike giveaway on top of it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
a lot of
And
cool
the-
stuff happening.
And
this
the
time
announcement
around.
of FDBM 2024 at this meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super,
right.
super
So-
excited about that one.
So
We've-
I have one more thing I want to say before we move off of this about our reflection point. I think that this 5 have we recorded the most episodes together of any of the group of lineups. I think we have.
It's possible.
And we've done
Probably.
like in person live recordings as well, which you guys
Yep.
hadn't,
Yeah, I
hadn't
think we're
really
like-
been able to do in the past.
Yep.
we're like the Sammy Hagar Van Halen,
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have. I think this group, this 5 has recorded the most together, and we've done some things beyond the podcast, like Brittany said, that we'd never done before with this group of people. We recorded from at Hogs and Frogs, and brought guests on live there. Dave and I recorded remotely and brought you guys in for a live podcast. I mean, all of these things are things we hadn't done before, and but they've just added to what we've been able to do as a podcast. So. That speaks volumes. There's some consistency there, which is really great.
Well,
Well, I
we've
mean,
also started wearing pants.
Yeah, and I mean, I no longer have a turd pipe above my head, so
That's true.
you can't hear the
We got
turds
Tony
go
out of the
down.
basement.
Somebody flushes the toilet. I'm no longer in the basement. I mean, a lot of things have changed. You know.
Yep. I
Yeah.
mean, Brittany still has that something about Mary hairdo, but some
Yeah.
things don't change.
It's not marrying much
And,
tonight.
and the pagan sign in the back. She refuses to get
Yeah,
rid of
and
that.
keep some stuff consistent.
I don't hear Jared whooping and woofing like he was earlier. What happened?
Well, I moved Ripley to
He
the
dilated.
other room, so
He dilated. He's used to it. He's used to it now.
but in all seriousness, that's what stands out the most to me after having joined the podcast is what you said, Ryan, all the different stuff that you get to experience that maybe you've never done before. You know, the different people that you meet, the guests that come on that you meet, and then just for me, like going to Fuel Cleveland. Fuel Cleveland's not very far from home for me, but I had just never gone before, you know? And there's just all these different things that you end up doing because you're participating in something like this. And that goes for someone who's not on the show too. Just as a listener, you get to be a part of all the stuff that we do.
Yeah, I mean, you actually started riding since you joined the podcast.
Hey, I rode before the podcast.
Yeah,
thanks.
but you went more than like 10 miles now.
Mm-hmm.
You took no, all kidding aside though. I mean, you took your first long distance trip. Recently,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I was gonna we were planning to work towards that anyways, but I had started riding only like a year before. I think a year before I joined the pod, or at least started listening. But yeah, yep, we've done
There you go.
2,
Now-
3
now you're
trips now.
fucked.
Yeah, no, you're fucked. But you know, part of the meetup before we end up, the meetup's only 4 hours, but there's a day and a half pre-meetup and a day and a half after meetup. That's even
Right.
better
Yeah.
than the actual event.
And then the actual event. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
For sure.
that's the thing, that while the event is cool, it's only 4 hours, but the pre and the after is where all the fun is. At
I
least
do
think.
have one request, and I'm actually going to say this at the event, and I'm going to say it at the pre-event, so you're going to hear it more than once. If you haven't been, or you're new, or whatever, when you come up to us, if you're on Discord, tell us what your Discord name is,
Yeah, please.
because we may kind of know who you are, or have a little bit better idea. If you tell us who your Discord name is when you introduce yourself, obviously we're going to use our names, right? But if you tell us who you are on Discord, that will give us a point of reference, so that we are still meeting strangers face to face, but you may not be a stranger because we may have talked to you 1,000 times.
On
So
Discord. And
Right.
I'm terrible at that. I'm always the one going to Ryan going, who's that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's so and so on Discord. Oh yeah,
it's
all
Brittany,
right.
dude. It's Brittany.
You
Jesus.
did the one time though. The one time, Tony, you got to the guy before me, and you're like, "This is Scuba Steve." at the bike reveal. So
Yeah, at the bike reveal.
yeah. So I mean, we've got please do that though, because we do want to make sure that we give as many people FaceTime, and don't be afraid. Like, please, if you're there and it's your first time to the event, come up to us. I know that I try to make it a point that the kind of meet and greet the day before the actual event, I try to make sure that I go and shake hands with every single person that shows up, just so that I'm not afraid to make the first move, so to speak. Wink, wink.
Busy.
So.
Don't follow him
that's a
around the
scary
building
thought.
is all I'm going to say.
So anyway,
Speaking of
Really cool
speaking of bike reveal, that had to be one of the coolest moments not on podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
that I've been a
super
part
cool.
of in the last 4
Yeah.
years of doing anything.
That was a
with
lot
the
of fun.
show. Yeah.
yeah.
That was a lot of fun. A lot of people.
The weather
showed up.
sucked, but it was really cool.
Yeah,
weather
but
blew.
a ton of people showed up,
Yeah.
man. I mean, people came in from far away for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those events where you really, it's hard to describe, because you're just standing there and all these people actually came to see the motorcycle, and I don't feel like you have a lot of those moments in life.
No, you don't. And I mean, everybody drove in too because the weather was that shitty. I
No,
mean, one dude,
not
one dude
everybody,
drove in.
dude. Lee came in
Lee
from
did. Yeah, I
Lancaster,
was gonna
Pennsylvania on that
bring
bike.
him up. He won. He was the winner.
And I tell
Yep.
you what, that was a skanky ass environment to be riding.
Oh, it was so bad.
that was bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
But that goes to show you, I mean, about the level of connection. I think that that I know I feel like we have with the folks that listen and hang out with us and everything is the people that did come in for that bike reveal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it was really cool.
those were long hauls,
And I know-
for
Forward to
just a
seeing
few
everybody
hours,
here in a
Yeah.
couple
and
weeks,
I know
man.
I've used Lee as an example before, but Lee's a great example of like when you see Lee just like walk into a hotel, you're like, oh, that's a little bit of a scary motherfucker right there.
He's
Lee's
the
got
real deal, man.
Yeah, he's the real deal, man. He
Yeah.
comes in and he's all geared up and he's got a legit. I mean, he's got a way bigger beard than me. And but when you meet Lee
Dustin's
and you
putting
shake
the
his
gimp
hand,
away.
when you meet Lee and you shake his hand and you start talking to him, you realize that I mean, he's as legit as they get. He's just a solid dude, super nice
Yep.
guy, great to talk to, super fun, and those are the kind of people that you're going to meet at the meetup. And they're everywhere, all walks of life, right?
So earlier you talked about Mark, Moto Mortician,
Yep.
and we were talking about Halloween, and I had this idea a few months back. We need to have him on for our Halloween special.
We
Oh.
should
I got to know
should.
what goes on in the basement of a mortuary.
on Halloween.
Jesus, dude, I don't.
I
wanna
bet you.
know.
I bet you though. Legitimately, I bet you he has some stories that would be like, did that really happen? Kind of shit. Like,
yeah,
I bet you
he
does.
couldn't talk about that stuff. He's running the business.
Yeah,
We might give him more business.
that's
Yeah.
that's privileged information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
HIPAA
You're
violation.
probably
We
right.
can
about that.
probably get those stories hanging out at the lobby of the La Quinta while we're down at FDBM.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
Mm.
at
I
that
think you're
bar.
right about that.
Jared has had his La Quinta. Never mind.
That was
I'm saying you're gonna have to take it out of the podcast. There's no one that's gonna make the podcast. I was gonna run with
that,
it.
that was going somewhere dark
It was
and
going
dank.
deep, but I pulled out.
He pulled out before he got too deep.
I did.
Oh shit.
Mm. Mm-mm.
It might have been a little much. Might have been a
Well,
line snipper.
and I'm just going to say this too. If there's anybody out there that has shown up to previous meetups, if you guys are planning on going to a Chinese buffet, you can all fuck off. I won't be going. I'm not going to any kind of sketchy ass Chinese buffet where Jay Sherman can take my picture in a parking lot of me pissing behind some sort of trailer and then send it to everybody, so everybody
Dude,
gets a
at least
picture of me
we were
pissing.
Did you see I saw on Twitter or something earlier today, a fucking Delta airline had to make a U-turn because somebody shit down the whole plane, down the whole aisle.
I saw that, dude. Biohazard.
Dude.
Oh,
It was
are
a
you
biohazard.
kidding me?
It was an international flight, and
Yeah.
it happened 2 hours into the flight, and they had to turn around and go back and deplane.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
The shit all the way down the.
Shit down the aisle, dude.
Now,
Oh
I've
my god.
this will sound gross, but I've had someone in front of me shit all over herself, but
Ugh.
she didn't like drag it all up and down the plane.
Dude must
Oh
have had
my
a bad
God.
burrito.
That had to be
I mean,
bad,
you know
dude.
what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
He was
Terrible
shaking that
situation.
shit down his leg like Andy Dufresne.
Oh my god!
Andy Dufresne.
Could you imagine though that?
No, I got
boy.
you got to think the person wasn't wearing pants.
Do you
Maybe you know.
Do you
spray
ever
that
wonder-
stuff everywhere?
Well, because I saw like it was like a Delta airline flight. There was 2 Canadian passengers that got kicked off the plane because they refused to sit in a seat that was or that somebody had vomited in. Did you guys see that at all?
No, it doesn't surprise me about Delta though.
But I'm just like, first of all, why would you do that? Why would you not clean the seats? Why would you try to put people in seats that somebody had
Delta.
vomited in? First of all, right? I don't give a shit what airline it is. It could be fucking Singapore Air. It could be the best airline out there. I'm not sitting in a seat that somebody's puked in or shat in.
Dude, I
right?
look for the least little bit of issue to never get on the plane. So I mean, there could be whatever. You know,
Tony
it
has a
doesn't matter
fear
to
of
me.
flying.
There's a fucking string on the seat. I'm out.
What's on the other end of the string?
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's
could
his
be
deal.
Like a fucking, I don't know.
If it's the wrong string, he won't be doing it.
But no, I don't know how I got on that. But yeah, it was gross. I saw it on. I
Yeah,
forgot
that was
what
pretty bad, man.
media it was on that I saw. But I was like, damn, boy, that was a rough day. Stinky. Excuse me, I just shit down the
What a
whole aisle.
shitty plane ride down.
Yeah.
I know, right? And just think, I mean, what the person must have felt like.
Had to walk in shits is
You
what
know,
they had.
I mean, obviously
can't hide that.
sick, and you know that you know that did not go down well with the other passengers.
No, God,
You know?
dude. Could you
It's
imagine
like-
sitting here going, "Oh God,
I
This
just
is
shit all
happening.
over everybody, and
I'm going to shit on everybody if I stand up,
Well,
or I'm going to shit in this seat." I don't know what's worse,
Jesus.
but it's happening.
Mm.
My grip is gone. I've lost grip.
And you have to wonder if that was like had something to do with if they were just sick on the plane or what the deal was. Like, how did that
Oh,
happen? I
maybe
don't know.
something bad.
yeah, I don't know, man.
I've never shit down an aisle of a plane, but I've been in a situation where I look like a 200-pound penguin walking across the floor.
I'll tell you what, you guys probably have never experienced this, but an airplane bathroom, those motherfuckers are not for someone who's tall. Like I
Dude,
go
they're
in
not
there,
for anybody.
I gotta put my leg up on the like side and like balance, and it's no
But you
joke
know,
trying to
you're
just take a
talking
piss
about the
in one of
Mile
those
High
things.
Club. I went in there and I was like, "There's no fucking way that's happening in here, man.
I know, right?
There's no way."
I know.
Gotta do the Captain Morgan pose just to take a piss.
I know.
You
it's-
do.
Yeah, there's
You
no
do.
way that's happening. And if it is happening, good for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how to figure. I
Yeah.
can't figure it out.
If you figured out how to join the Mile High Club in one of those bathrooms in an airplane, you
Yeah.
should maybe join the next Tolkien movie because you could probably sign up for a Hobbit position.
All I say is good for you. Goddamn mathematician. Had to figure that out. Either that or she's a contortionist, one or the other.
Or they're up in first class.
Oh, yeah.
Bathrooms are bigger up in first class.
Listen to this
First
guy.
class is better.
Dave's like, yeah, in business class, they give you a warm washcloth to clean up after yourself.
Yep, they do.
Hot towel.
And warm nuts.
Hot towel? Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Just put that right down here.
Just, yes. Got these warm nuts.
Hey,
Just
Dave,
set them on my lip.
have you ever flown on one of those planes where like I know they're like overseas flights or whatever, where you get to like lay down and sleep
All the time. Yeah.
I'm done talking to you. Kick this motherfucker off right now.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
I bet you that's wonderful.
I
It
have
is,
not.
especially when you're flying 36 hours.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Done that quite a few times.
Can you
actually
stay on a plane that fucking long? Where in the fuck are you flying
It's
to?
a
The same place?
connecting flight. Yeah, Singapore.
I meant like, do you take off in Utah and land in Utah 36 hours later?
No. I mean, I've gone here to Dubai and then Dubai to KL, and that was about 36 hours, 2 flights.
Fuck.
God damn.
Did you get off the plane or you just stay on the plane?
No, you switch planes. Go to the
Fuck.
club. Go to the club for a little bit, and
I didn't even know the plane could stay airborne that fucking long.
yeah. Well, the longest I've flown is 45 hours, and that was coming back from Perth, in Australia.
God. Oh yeah, my sister did that. You like take off one day and land the next.
Yeah,
It's a whole nother day.
But again, I mean, if you're flying up in business or first, and you have a bed and you just kind of lay down and go to sleep, watch movies.
yeah. Yeah.
Although I tell you, Emirates, talking about airlines, Emirates, best airline I've ever flown on, ever. We flew from here to KL through Dubai on Emirates in business class. You had your own like 26-inch TV, your own wet bar in your seat. The service was absolutely incredible. And they have a bar actually in the tail of the plane.
Probably
So
a
you can go-
$5,000 a seat too.
They're giving it away.
Yeah, well, it's not cheap.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
But,
And you actually get real food though in those places too, don't you? You
Yeah,
don't get,
with
like,
silverware. But the thing is, most people don't pay for that.
Right.
I mean, it's award tickets or, I
Right.
mean, it's people traveling. Most of the time I'm traveling on business on those flights.
Well,
So,
I fly Southwest and I get the jump seat on the wing.
now that's a piece of shit. That's one airline I refuse
Yeah.
I refuse to fly.
I get that
Not a
$99
fan.
round trip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The plane takes off and it lands. It's good enough
Yeah,
for me.
Not
it's
a
the
fan of the
Greyhound of
cattle
the
call.
sky.
Yeah.
I flew them several years ago. I didn't have a choice. I had to get to Vegas real quick for a meeting last minute, and I paid the extra money to make sure that I was in the front of the cattle call. You know how they line everybody up and shit.
Mhm.
Then those motherfuckers called old crippled people first, and all the old crippled people took all the aisle seats. And I'm
Well,
like,
that
what the
didn't.
fuck,
You weren't
man?
able to do that.
No, I mean these were like super old people. These weren't like older people. They were like old people, and they didn't pay. I was super pissed. So I never fly this piece of shit again.
Mm-hmm.
Southwest. Yeah. Oh well.
Fuckers.
We got sidetracked there.
We
talking
did.
about
We did.
shitting on the
Thanks
plane.
for joining us for this episode of Wild Hogs 2.
Ain't nobody skinny dipping here, motherfucker.
No,
I think there might be snapper turtles in here.
Yeah.
fuck.
Never
That
know.
skinny dip, my balls would float to the top. Bloop. What is that? Life preserver? Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you think it would benefit any of the listeners, maybe some of the newer ones, to talk about how the podcast became to be since we're on like celebrating 200?
Became
I-
what?
Yeah.
How the podcast came to be.
Yeah, the inception, the origin story. I don't think it's bad to do that every once in a while because we get asked that question a lot. I got asked that question today. I'll tell you guys about it later, but I got asked it today.
Well, what was the answer? Just so the listeners know.
So there were 5 of us. There was a story of a man named Brady. So there were 5 of us, and we all met through social media, right, of some form or another, YouTube or whatever. And we were put together in a group chat, and that group chat was
A group text.
a group text, yeah. and that group text was really funny. It was hilarious, and it was mentioned that, hey, maybe we should make this into a podcast, and then it moved from a group text to podcast format, and
Which was awful.
which was awful in the very beginning. Yep. And in fact, we got named by my wife. So we were in one of our marathon recording sessions, and my wife came in and said, "What are you dirty bikers doing in here?"
Yes,
And
those
so-
were like the pre-recording days before
Yep.
we even recorded our first podcast.
Yep. And that's kind of the simplified version of the origin story, I guess.
Yeah, the only thing to add to that was we found each other through YouTube because we all rode Sportsters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody was commenting on each other's videos and, kind of watching each other's stuff just to see what we were doing to our bikes or whatever. And it's just something that we had centralized in common that kind of sparked the group text.
We did all ride Sportsters. I forgot that little tidbit of information.
Yeah.
And in fact, the 5 that we have right now all rode Sportsters. So yeah. So I mean, that's
Absolutely.
So
It's the gateway drug.
It's a gateway drug. Yeah.
marijuana.
Well, I think wasn't Dustin, you were the first one to get a Softail, right? That moved up to the Softail? If I
I
remember
think you were.
correctly, I think you were the first one.
No, I had my Road King before we started the podcast.
Yeah, he did.
Did you?
Tony, during MMM 19, I know you had to trailer whatever bike you had because it
I
was
had the
leaking.
soft. I had the slim.
He had the Slim.
So
yeah.
I think, I can't remember if you bought your Slim before I bought my Sport Glide or not, because I bought it like maybe a month or two before the meetup.
I might have had it. I had
No.
mine a little bit longer.
You had
mine
it.
was fucked
I had
up.
it
You
in
had
18.
it before that. You
I
had
had-
it before that.
I had it in 18 because I bought it in August of 18.
I
So
remember-
I'd had it almost a year.
I
or maybe
remember
over a year.
the video when you were on one of your first rides on that.
Yeah.
Well, when did they release bikes back then? Because I bought mine. I mean, it was literally a month.
Mine was a
after they
mid-year
released
release.
It's like
So-
October.
them. Yeah, I bought
And-
mine right when they released them.
Yeah.
Because I talked shit about them, and then I went in and rode it, and I was like, I'll take it.
Give me 2.
Yeah.
Just hold the other one for a year. I'll be back to pick it up.
I was talking heavy shit about it.
And you're
I
the
went in
only-
and rode it. and
No,
I was
I
like,
take it
"God
back.
damn, these are nice."
Ryan
you have any
still has
buyer's
his
remorse?
Road King.
No.
No.
I was gonna say you and Ryan are the only ones that still have your bikes from back then.
Yeah, that we traded our Sportsters in for. Yep.
Yeah.
Dustin still has his Sport Glide, and I have my Road King. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, mine is the 4th since the Sportster Slim.
Fourth, third.
But this is the
podcast.
longest one, man.
I know. I've had this one. No, it's going on 2 years.
Go read the odometer for me.
Well, doesn't matter. It looks good, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I rode 350 miles today, Tony. What'd you do this month?
I rode an Indian back. I rode an Indian back. God damn it. What was that? That's 250.
Yeah. You did that this month?
Not
No, you did that
September.
in August.
I did that in
We did that a
August.
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't rode that much. I was just gonna say it. I haven't rode that much this season.
you said
You've
that
been
last
busy.
year.
You've been working your ass off.
Yeah, I've been working, and it's just I haven't ridden that much.
Got the cobwebs out with that trip to Indy, though, didn't you?
I did. Got that taken care of and did that, and I'm planning on riding. Well, this weekend I'll have to do our ride to make sure that it's legit and nothing's fucked up on it. And then,
Yeah.
I plan on riding the whole weekend when everybody's here, so I'll get something in.
If I get in early enough Thursday, do you want to do that then, or are you going to do it this weekend?
If you get in early enough, we can do it Thursday. If not, we
Get
can,
the
I can
wash
go this
bucket ready.
weekend. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, we're bypassing that whole fucking section. Fuck that.
Tony, are you going to do a pre-ride
What?
before Sunday?
That's what he was just talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Make sure all the roads are open.
No concrete dust.
He doesn't want to
Yeah.
get caught. He doesn't want to get caught getting concrete dust on this bike. He doesn't want to have to trade it in. He's got too many cool
No.
parts on it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I wouldn't have had all those fucking parts on it, I would be on my 5th bike right now.
What would you do?
It would have
You'd-
been the fast Johnny
I was,
ST, dude.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw that up at Bluegrass, I was like,
It's a
motherfucker.
nice looking bike. I still don't like the stripe on the bags, but it's a nice
I don't
looking
know what
bike,
it is
man.
about that paint. It looks so much better in person
Mhm.
than
Yeah.
it does online and the thing. It is a fucking killer paint job.
We got one in Friday. It was on the floor today, but it's already dealer traded.
Yeah, I mean,
Dealer traded. Wow.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm surprised, Tony, that they had one there. I'm surprised you didn't buy it. I'm gonna
dude, I had Phil was with me. We were putting his suspension in, and we had to go up there to get some shock oil. And I was like, dude, we got to go. We gotta get the fuck out of
Did you
here.
start trembling? Were you getting the?
I mean, it probably would have been a thing if a guy would have come up and talked to me long enough. I probably would have bought the motherfucker. I mean,
They already had your credit ran.
It was bad.
Biometrics as soon as you walked in.
You know, the good thing is that pretty much all the parts you have on yours would go on that.
Yeah, but god damn,
dude, that I tell you what though, I hear what
week's
Tony,
worth of work.
I hear what Tony's saying, because the first time I saw an El Diablo in person was when I was at Bluegrass for the bike reveal, and they had one upstairs that was sold already. They moved it upstairs, and so I went up there, and the guy's like, "I got to show you the El Diablo we have," and I hadn't seen the paint up close, dude. That new paint, those colors, and the 120th colors, that red, fuck, I'm telling you, that it is something. It was. I can understand. Like, if I would have been in the market too, if I would have been in the market and El Diablo would be in my garage and my Road King would be gone, because that motherfucker, it was like nothing. I have never.
No, they got like stripper dust or something in the lights in these dealerships to where it just looks that much better. It's like beer goggles.
Yeah, it gets in your eyes.
You know?
And
it's like fucking bike goggles when you go in. It's like, God, they just look better.
Yeah, and all you see is like titties and motorcycle, and you just like, well, you want to buy it? Yeah. Yeah, they get you with that one.
Got those beer goggles on when you go in there, those lights. It's like, God damn, that thing's beautiful. And you take it home, you're like, ooh, Lord.
Yeah, I think Tony and I were
off so you don't have to wake her up.
Tony and I were standing in front of, I think it was the 120th Heritage that they had at Bluegrass.
Oh, yeah.
And we were both looking at it, and we were like, God damn, that's a nice bike. And then we both had boners, and we had to walk away because it was uncomfortable.
I honestly thought Tony was going to get that bike. He kept going over by it a lot.
That Heritage?
That Heritage, yeah. He liked that Heritage, man.
It's nice. I mean, it just really looks nice.
It was a good looking bike. I mean, it would have been a second bike. I wouldn't have traded my lowrider in, but it was a good looking bike. Now I would have traded the lowrider in on that ST.
Yeah, that Fast Johnny's nice. Probably gone already, don't you think?
It's gone,
that's okay. My dealer has one. I saw it the other day when I was there on Sunday, and my dealer doesn't mark up bikes.
Ooh.
If it could have been a deal where it's like I could take it home and spend a week transferring all the parts. Because that's how long it would take.
Well, speaking of ST, have you guys read about the new Harley Davidson recall?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you better, Tony.
What is it?
So they recalled 65,000 motorcycles.
No shit.
And what it is a fastener. It's a fastener on the rear shock absorber. It's known to break. And when it breaks, there's a chance that shock absorber can come into contact with the rear tire.
Oh,
and if it comes in contact with the rear tire, you could blow a tire.
That'll fuck you up.
Well, I don't have the stock suspension.
That's true. You got rid of yours.
Yeah. So if you own one of the following models, you guys need to go get yours checked out if you haven't received your recall in the mail yet. So the 18 and 19 Softail Deluxe, the 18 and 21 Heritage Classic, that's the 107. Then the 18 to 23 Heritage Classic 114, 18 and 23 Heritage Classic 114 Anniversary, 20 through 23 Lowrider S, 22 and 23 Lowrider ST, and the 22 Lowrider STL Diablo. If you own one of those bikes, get with your dealership.
So what is it, the fastener or the bolt?
Yeah, it's a fastener.
Yeah. They'll swap it out for you.
Yeah.
Yep. It's covered. Just go see your dealer if you haven't gotten anything in the mail.
I have not gotten it. If I have, I probably threw it away because I don't open that shit anymore because it scares me.
Smart man.
I'm like, just throw that shit away, boys.
Smart man. I get something from BMW every 2 months like clockwork.
Yep.
Just rip it in
Never
half
stop.
and throw it in the trash.
Yep.
They want your car, do they, Dave?
They want my car big time. Every time I take it in for service, they want to take it.
Time
take
to
it in.
trade that shit in for a new
Fuck
one, man.
No, dude, that's a one of a kind. That's a one of a kind car. That's my forever car.
Well, we got Discord questions.
All right, let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
You.
Do we have 201 to celebrate the 201st episode?
Jesus
God, I hope
Christ.
not, man. I'm only good for like maybe 2 or
I was
3.
going to say, every one of them's directed to Tony.
Oh my god.
So let's I want to do a follow-up to our, because we did an entire podcast on it, and the guy that we did the podcast on sent me a message. So he said he's just getting to this week's podcast. He's the 883 guy, and he wanted to add some context. He said, I probably didn't word my post correctly on here, but the 7K trade offer was well within what I was expecting, especially with the condition of the bike. I wasn't smart about buying the 883, and I didn't get a good deal on it, so it's put me in a bad trade position. All in all, there were several factors that killed any deal, and the trade just happened to be one of them. So he didn't add all of the context on what they gave him or what they were offering him for that 7K trade on his 883. But regardless, he just wanted to add some context to that. So there you go. There's some context to that entire discussion that we talked about last week.
Thank you, Mr. Context, man.
Who Me Matt asks and says, it's been a while since you all discussed helmets on the cast, but could you share your thoughts on how long you keep your helmets or before you replace them?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost bought that fucking Stormtrooper rock.
I knew it. I thought for sure you were going to pull the
I
trigger.
almost bought the motherfucker, and I said, if I buy this, I'm gonna have to eat more ass. And I was like, I can't do it. But that Star Wars shit on those Rurocks is fucking awesome. At least I think so. I'm kind of a Star Wars.
I
nerd,
think they
though.
did a good job. They're talking about Rurock,
Yeah.
right? I think they did a good job on all 3 of those. I think the Vader's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
of the
fuck.
3.
I love that one, dude.
That
With the
Boba
Death
Fett
Star on
that Boba Fett's
that Vader
a
is
beast.
awesome with that front. The front of the helmet just looks like the mask of Vader.
Yeah.
God damn. No,
The
I'm
Iron
telling
Man
you,
one's dope too.
I'm telling you right now, Rurock is absolutely killing it in the graphics game. They have the best looking helmet on the market. I will say that.
Well,
They have
they're
the best
they're
looking
dropping
helmet.
money to get the licensing deals, man.
Oh fuck!
I mean,
I
they got both comic companies, DC and Marvel. They hit the Disney stuff with Star Wars. I mean, they're
I
not-
mean, I don't know, man. The one I had was a piece of shit. And I mean, I showed it to Dustin. Was it you, Dustin, that did I show it to you when you came over how the shit was falling out of it?
Yeah, you showed me when we picked up the bike. a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, you touch it and the pads would fall out. So I guess supposedly they fixed all that.
So I'm shooting a review video tomorrow on my way downtown to meet Volts for coffee. A 10,000 mile review of my Rurock Atlas 4.0.
So let
And
me ask you this before the fucking review. Do you like it better than your show, not your Shoei, your
My
Arai?
Arai. I don't think I like either helmet better than the other. I wouldn't say. I mean,
you run into president.
No. I mean, now, so all summer I've been running my Rurock, right, on these trips. For FDBM, I'll be back in the Arai. This will be my first trip in the Arai because I want to make. I've got that set up for dual video or dual audio. But I have no problem telling you should pull the trigger and get that helmet.
God damn it!
I mean, I did last month 7,000 miles in that Rurock, and it was a comfortable
I would
ass
just have
helmet.
to coddle some balls if I did, dude. Because I mean, I talk some
You
strong.
never hear
shit.
the end of it
No,
from
but-
me.
Yeah.
No, because
Ever.
you legitimately talk shit about a product that you had experience with that they don't make anymore.
Correct.
This is not that
I
product.
know, but they still just like double sack tapped you.
I will
Because
tell you
you
this.
got-
I saw the Ruroc 4.0 when we were at Dustin's because Todd runs one.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, Dave's right. The helmet's it's not the same, Tony. It's not the same helmet. They made all the right changes to it to make it, but you're not wrong either. They did fuck you with premium pricing on a helmet that really wasn't worth premium value when they were
At the
putting it out
time.
there at the time.
Yeah.
But their newer versions, if I would not have just purchased a new Simpson this season that I do really, really like, including the design on it, I would be pulling the trigger on a Ruroc. And I'm having a hard time not doing it right now anyway, because those fucking Star Wars helmets are dope.
So let me say this. I was itching. My finger was itching on that Boba Fett last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was chatting with Walter about it because he and I had been talking the week before. We knew they were coming and we were kind of wondering what it was going to look like. And Walter made a really good point to me. He said, Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Oh, yeah, that thing's good.
What
Those
is-
helmets are going to go on sale.
Ruroc always has
huge
major
sale.
sales. So you just have to roll the dice that they're going to have your size,
Yep.
you know, which I lost out on that pumpkin head helmet that I really wanted, that limited edition they did last year.
Sure.
Well, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
If you wait, Tony, that thing's going to go on sale.
I mean,
It's
you
cool.
get a free shockwave with it right now.
What exactly is
fuck
the
the shockwave? No, I'm sorry. That's still
So here's my thought on that, right? If you're going to run it as a second helmet and you're riding solo, fucking shockwave's going to let you listen to music and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
You don't need the card over that. Primary helmet, I would never use that shockwave.
yeah. I'm
I mean, shockwave is not going to make me buy a helmet. I'm just saying it's there.
right.
And if
I
it's a
prefer
second
to have-
helmet, you know.
Yeah, I prefer to have my Cardo set up on it because I don't run a primary and a secondary helmet. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, solo ride, you know. That's why I'm taking my Arai on this one, because that's set up for dual audio, and I know that we might be saying some things worth recording while we're all riding together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's fucking cool. I'm looking at it.
Tony's
right
looking.
now.
I was going to say Tony's pulled
It's
it up. on the
fucking
screen.
cool, dude. I mean, it's a cool fucking helmet. So look, next.
So, what was the question though?
Yeah, what was the
how often do
question?
you replace the helmets, or like that 5 years? I think we've all said that.
5
before.
years, or if you
We all
drop
kinda-
it.
Or
Yeah.
if you drop it. I tend to do. I've had my what's fuck. I can't remember the name. My Arai for 2 years now.
I've had this Arai longer than I've ever had any helmet.
Yeah.
I've had it for 2.5 years.
So yeah.
I rode
All
my
right.
Shoei RFSR for 4.5 years and just replaced it in the winter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. There you go. Who's next?
Let's see, I'll get to it. Hold on.
What was the one about luggage? Somebody asked something about what's your favorite or least favorite motorcycle luggage. I have a new favorite.
So 2019 FLHT Kyle
There you go.
says, "What's your favorite and least favorite piece of motorcycle luggage?"
So I have a new favorite as of this season, and I've gone through a shit ton of luggage, but it's that, and it's a Harley Davidson bag. Shocker for me. It's the Onyx Premium Luggage Tour Pack Rack Bag. That
God
bag,
damn.
that bag looks small. It ain't small. You could easily live out of maybe a week, 2 weeks
You know,
out
I've
of
had
what you can
people
pack
say
in
that
that bag.
about mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's my new favorite.
It's actually
yeah.
bigger than it looks.
Well, it looks small.
That's my new favorite.
It looks small, but
Tony's
You
a
know.
grower, not a shower.
There you
yeah,
go.
I mean, Had a limp for 3 days afterwards.
My least favorite still that rickrack thing that fell off my bike.
Hmm.
It came loose, didn't fall off, came loose.
It fell the fuck off. It's fine. All right. Next.
I'm gonna say the Saddleman Universal bike bag I have is awesome.
Is that luggage?
Yeah.
Would like the bags be luggage, like saddlebags be luggage, or
This
are we
isn't a
talking
saddlebag. This is a luggage bag.
Yeah, I think you could count yours, Tony, because it's not
Mhm.
it's not a hard bag. Yours are
not.
soft.
Have you all seen that new thrashing bag they got out that they released?
Which one?
It's a fucking bag that it's like a
It's a
sissy
knockoff,
bar
isn't it?
bag.
Oh, is it a dry bag?
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a dry bag, but it has like built-in shoulder straps that hide away, so it turns into a backpack.
Backpack,
And
yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a really cool.
I
there's
just
a lot.
got
There's a lot of those style bags out.
Yeah.
there are. Yeah, I just got a dry bag actually that I'm going to be trying out for FDBM. So
No,
a
Those
taller
guys are doing
dry
some
bag.
cool shit over
I've
there
got-
in
I
thrashing.
got two
man.
sitting in my garage. Why didn't you tell me you were looking at a dry bag?
I got it off Amazon. It was cheap.
It's hard to keep your bag dry all the time.
I use the dry bags. I use dry spec.
Mm.
I've got a couple of those, the D38s. Super nice.
Okay.
Next.
Next.
Another question for the Unclean Quintet from Volts.
Volts.
Out of the Fast Johnnies, how do you rank all three from 1 to 3? 1 is best based on looks and rideability.
Well, I haven't ridden them, but if you want looks, I'm going to go ST Road Glide Street Glide.
Street Glide. That's my same. I'm same.
Road Glide. Yep.
Road Glide Street Glide ST.
Of course.
He's ass backwards.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Jake from State Farm. I just bought the new Breakout,
There you
and
go.
I hear very little talk of the 23 Breakout with the new 117 on the podcast, and was wondering if any of you would like to give your opinion or thoughts on this. Additionally, have any of you had the chance to ride it, and did your opinion change at all after the ride? Do you think HD did a better job with this model versus its previous predecessors of the motorcycle? Lastly, do you see there being a long-term future in Harley's lineup with this bike, or will it phase out?
Well, here's one thing, Jake from State Farm, I would like for you to know. If you bring that bike to FDBM, we, at least the four of us that are talking right now, will have ridden a Breakout. So make sure you bring your bike.
Yeah, make sure you. I haven't ridden one. I do think the Breakout's really cool. I don't know. It was discontinued one time before and brought back, so I don't know what type of lifespan it's going to have. But being an owner of a 117, I will say that motor's fucking angry. So a couple, tweaks on it, it gets pissed off really quick.
Let me ask you-
It rides as
let me
good
ask
as
you
any
this.
Softail.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Tony, because you and I talked, I guess it was maybe a couple of years ago, about the Fat Boy and your experience on the Fat Boy. Do you
See, I
do
didn't
you
like
think
the
this
Fat
would be
Boy.
the same as the Fat Boy?
What?
the
How
Breakout?
big's the back? What's the back tire on the?
It's a big ass,
Is it a big ass one?
big ass.
Those are tough, man. They just handle differently. That bigger back wheel, with the 30-degree rake and that bigger back wheel, they are heavier in the corners. But I mean, it all depends on how you want to ride it. I guess if you're going out and you're riding on the expressway, you're living in an area like Dustin and Ryan that's got a lot of straight, flat roads, I think it would be awesome.
It's a
For me
beautiful
and-
bike.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
It's a
bike.
beautiful bike.
For me, with the type of terrain that I have around here, that you're constantly ducking in and out of corners, a little more nimble bike made better sense for me. But I mean,
Do you guys think they took it out because they were going to redesign it? I mean, it was only out of the lineup for how long? Was it?
I don't know. I think it was a
A
little
year?
redundant
Few
with
years,
the
yeah.
with the Fat Boy.
Yeah.
It's a very similar motorcycle. I think they were trying to get rid of duplicates. Just like with your bike, Dustin, the Sport Glide, when they came out the ST. I mean, it was basically technically the same bike. just a different look. Had different wheels, different fairing.
engine.
Yeah.
Different
but
different
but,
box.
but you
Man,
know
it's
what I'm
different
saying.
bike.
It's not the same at all. I don't know what you're failing. You failed.
They didn't need two they didn't need two with the same clamshell bags and a fairing.
I know they didn't need to make the newer one.
Yeah. They didn't need two of them. You know what I mean? And it
No.
was inverted front end. Same, it had an inverted front end on it. I mean, it was.
I think the Breakout is Harley's replacement for the Rocker. I think it's their chopper-esque motorcycle.
Dude, we
That's
got
what-
one of
that's
those
what I
Rocker
think.
C's in last week. It's pretty freaking sweet.
What was the Dyna one? The Wide Glide, was that it?
Well, the Wide Glide was
Had the
yeah,
kind of the raked out front end.
It had a raked out front end. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. It did. And I mean, it was the fork setup. The reason why they called it the Wide Glide was the forks are wider.
Yeah.
But I think the Breakout is their modern version of a chopper-esque style motorcycle. I've never ridden one, but I can tell you it looks hella uncomfortable to me.
Well,
That's how I look at it,
Lowrider ST is the same way. I mean, you got to put bars on it,
You're in a way more like tacoed position though in the Breakout than you are in an ST.
You would
I
look
will,
like
though.
an ugly star bobber riding that bike.
Well, I'll
Ryan.
tell you, the Breakout looks like it's doing 200 miles an hour sitting in the showroom.
It does.
I mean,
It does.
Those
it-
wheels are incredible.
yeah,
I mean, those are
it
beautiful
looks
wheels.
like it looks fast. It's a cool looking fucking bike for sure.
Bring your Breakout. We'll ride it. We'll tell you
Yeah.
what we think about it.
Question for the 5 from 2019 FLHT Kyle again. What kind of food do you eat on long, multi-day style touring rides, especially
Chili.
breakfast and lunch? Not to feel. He said multi, Tony.
Chili
Long.
and Taco Bell.
He said
the
long
whole
and
time.
multi-day. You're out. Especially breakfast and lunch, not to feel so full or heavy with hours of riding left ahead.
Protein. You gotta eat protein.
Dude, protein bars are. I thought they were bullshit, but they're the real deal.
Yeah, if you we usually eat something light in the morning, and then as we're riding throughout the day, one of the good things, honestly, is beef jerky. That's a really good thing. Those little packages of peanuts, another really good thing to use. They both are filling, but they're protein. You got to eat protein because it's not going to give you the heavy feeling like carbs does, and it's going to fill you up and give your body opportunity to burn calories.
I got protein shots for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Totally
Sure
feed
you
everybody.
I
You
think
got to work for them, but you know what I mean? It's rewarding.
the one important thing there that you're not mentioning
What's that?
is water. I mean, it's really more hydration is probably
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Water's
I love coffee. I drink coffee like it's the nectar of life, which it is, but I try to stay away from coffee on days when I'm on the road
Makes me
for 10
pissed.
hours.
It's a stimulant.
Yeah,
well,
man,
it's the caffeine. You don't need it.
Let me tell you what, the
I
older
eat
you
light.
get, when you have to piss, you got to get out of the fucking person's way, dude, because it's happening.
Yep.
That's true.
I'll pull over on the side of the road and let her rip, tater chip. I mean, I got to piss.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I think that's it for the Discord questions.
All right. Again, make sure you guys are joining the Discord if you're coming to FDBM because it costs nothing, and you can keep in the know about what's going on because, like we said, shit can change.
Shit can change.
Whether it's
the
weather,
drop of a dime.
scheduling, whatever. Make sure you're on there because we're not going to get to social media as quick as we are to Discord.
Well,
No,
and two, I think we should go ahead and say it now that there will be announcements that we'll make on there about where we're going to be or where we're going to ride to that you will want to know
Yeah.
for sure.
Because, like I said, the 4 hours of the event is cool, but what happens before the event and after the event is kind of where all the fun is.
Protein shots.
Yeah. I'm going to
that.
have a booth like Lucy and the Peanuts. 5 cents a shot.
It's like whack-a-mole, but
Whack-a-mole.
You won't sell a lot because you have to wait like 8 hours in between shots.
You're not
Hey,
kidding.
Billy.
Hey, man.
How much you
Supply
make
and
today,
demand.
Tony? A quarter.
Well, I've lost 10 pounds today. Got a forearm like Popeye.
Well, blow me down.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, we get a call this one, gentlemen.
201.
201.
201 in the
you.
tank.
On our
Thanks,
way to
guys.
another milestone. Thank you guys very much for listening to this show for the last 201 episodes. We really appreciate you
God damn.
wasting your time right
No
here.
shit, man. How many? So, wait, before we sign off here,
Yeah.
what's the average?
48.
So, we got 201 episodes, and we're going to times it. The average length's what? 90 minutes?
Let's go 60.
60 minutes?
Yeah.
Fuck. 12,000 minutes.
There you go.
But several
Let's
episodes
divide
have
that
gone
by
beyond
60,
an hour. Several
Yeah.
episodes have gone beyond an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
so we've really wasted a lot of people's time here. I mean, we apologize for all the time that we have wasted.
Well, think of all the time we've spent.
I'm not
Yeah.
sorry for a thing.
You know, I mean, you know, it's
Oh,
I
fuck.
apologize for nothing.
I apologize for
time.
nothing.
Yeah. God damn, that's a lot. All right.
Okay.
go.
Well, let's call it. Well, guys. Bleh. We will see you guys this Saturday at FDBM, where the salmon says.